A stunning breakthrough in the Boston Strangler case. Using DNA, officials believe they've connected Albert DeSalvo to the last of the Strangler's victims. Mary Sullivan joining us to talk about it, Northeastern University professor of criminology, James Allen Fox. Jamie, thanks for being here. The DNA match came from DeSalvo's nephew. Now DeSalvo's body's been exhumed. How quickly will we know if it's a 100% match?
It will be days. Obviously, this will be a rush, but it shouldn't take very long for us to know. We should know early next week.
DNA testing had been done before through tests arranged by the DeSalvo and Sullivan families, who believed DeSalvo wasn't the real killer, but now this new testing proves otherwise. Are you surprised by the new results?
Well, I am surprised because I had assumed that the earlier DNA tests were reliable, and apparently they were false. They were not done by law enforcement. That's an important point. We had been sent off track, perhaps misled by these tests from a decade ago. I always felt that Albert DeSalvo had committed at least some of the murders, perhaps not the Sullivan murder, but this does indeed confirm that he committed that murder and probably many more, if not all.
There are 12 other victims of the Boston Strangler. To that point, if he didn't commit all of them, perhaps some of them, but will investigators ever be able to link DeSalvo to those other murders?
Probably not, because we don't have the physical evidence the way we have it for the Sullivan murder, where there is semen. We don't have that kind of biological evidence in the other cases. So we'll never be able to tie DeSalvo to the others. But again, this is a 50-year-old case. Even if DeSalvo didn't commit all the murders, whoever did commit the other ones is likely dead, or if not, he's certainly well past his prime. So we're not talking about an issue of public safety.
What kind of impact do you think advances in DNA technology will have on other unsolved crimes?
Well, we see time and time again that cold cases are warmed up by the use of new technology of DNA. And each year we seem to have better techniques for obtaining DNA results. This particular case of familial DNA allowed us to link semen from the Mary Sullivan crime scene to a nephew of Albert DeSalvo. And it's only been the last few years that the techniques have allowed us to link family members through DNA. It's allowed us to solve other cases out there, and who knows what will happen in the future. It's certainly great for law enforcement to try to solve cases. It also has been helpful in exonerating previously convicted individuals who were convicted on improper evidence.
As you know, there are a lot of unsolved murders out there. These are well known because the Boston Strangler is so infamous. But are you concerned investigators will spend too much time on these cases that happened 50 years ago, as you point out, and ignore more recent unsolved killings?
Well, I'm not concerned that that will happen. The DeSalvo case is so high profile that it demanded some attention. And indeed, if it weren't for the fact that a decade ago we were led astray by false DNA results and a subsequent book that claimed that DeSalvo was not the Boston Strangler, this wouldn't have the importance it has today. Hopefully we'll now be able to put this whole case to rest for good, forever, and deal with more immediate cases that are currently unsolved, where criminals are indeed at large and on the loose.
Professor Jamie Fox from Northeastern University, thanks for your time tonight.